Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your April 16th to the 30th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. Doing these things would make me very happy, so thank you so much for doing so. If you are interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra, April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Libra. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Libra. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Libra. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly, guide this reading, and show me clearly, angels. Fantastic. And now let's see the chakra energy for this time. Now this is going to be where we have to pay a little bit of attention, be mindful of the chakra that comes up, because this is going to be where we're a little bit sensitive, where things hit us a little bit harder. Okay. Libra, April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Libra. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Libra. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Right, that one that just flew right out. Universal light. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above the crown. And then we have the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy we need to be mindful of? That Libra needs to be mindful of. April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Libra. What is the energy that Libra needs to be mindful of? April 16th to the 30th, 2021, Libra. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. Now, the left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. We have the 3 of Swords. Interesting. And the 4 of Wands. Wow, that's such a contrast. Okay, that's actually exciting. The 3 of Wands and the 5 of Swords. Huh. We have the Ace of Cups, so a gift from God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, of love and beauty. We have the King of Cups, so definitely taking this gift. This is also water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. If you're born on the cusp with Scorpio, this part of your personality is going to be coming out very intensely. We have the 7 of Wands, and then we have the 3 of Cups. So you have now 3 threes, so divinity is absolutely watching over you during this time. We have the 6 of Cups. Nostalgia can be coming in. Also, like things that were said in the past could be just kind of looping in your head, like going over and over again, in your mind. The Lovers, Gemini energy. time frame, May 21st to June 20th. We have the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we have the Eight of Pentacles, hard work, being revealed and paying off. So, of course, we start off here with the universal light, which is the soul star chakra. Once again, located 6 inches above the crown. There is a real sense here of having a light shine on things. We're going to see ourselves really starting to embrace the spiritual, embrace what our soul desires, embrace a way forward. But this is also going to be a place where we feel kind of out of balance with ourselves, out of balance with the way that we want to be. There's a sense of feeling like, oh, but this is the way I'm supposed to move forward, and then absolutely doubting ourselves, thinking, oh my gosh, am I doing this wrong? Do I know how I need to move forward? Do I know what I want for my life? Or am I making a huge mistake? Am I going to hurt somebody's feelings? Like, what is going on here? And so with the universal light, there is a sense of needing to step back and needing to promote the healing of the soul, the healing of the self, the empowerment of the being. And then as we move to heal, and as we embrace the light that we shine with, it brings us to the energy we have to be mindful of. Now, this is the Hierophant. Now, this is Taurus energy, April 20th to May 20th, but this is a very controlling kind of, it has to be like this, look at it this way, kind of sitting on their throne, being very dogmatic type of energy. So here we have to just be very mindful of the people who say, no, it has to be this way. It has to be like this. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't listen, because what's going to be really tricky at this time is that these people do have really good ideas, and it's going to be really annoying. It's going to be like, oh, okay, but couldn't you have said that differently? And the fact of the matter is, no, they couldn't have. They're not here to develop anything other than the personality and the wealth of spirit, and also the wealth of the individual. So when we look at the Hierophant is tradition. The Hierophant is institutions of tradition. And they're there to kind of propel you forward in a very different way. So you might be having struggles with these institutions. You might be having struggles within a marriage, or within a school setting, or, within work. And it's kind of sitting there, it's like, why can't they let me express who I am the way that I want to? And it's like, okay, because it's about more. It's kind of like being a part of a clock. When a part of a clock breaks, if you open it up, it's so complicated. You think, oh my gosh, how did anybody ever think to put this all together? But there's going to be beauty in this stepping back and saying, all right, just because the cogs don't work the way that you think a clock should be put together does not mean that the clock will not work. And so just knowing that where they're coming from things, I don't see this as a malevolent kind of way of being. The way that they're coming from things is going to be in a way of very much tradition, and very much, all the gears have to work together. This isn't about an individual, it's about a greater whole. And we're going to be more focusing here on the individual. So noting that can kind of make things just a little bit easier during this time. It's not giving them an excuse, but it's giving an explanation to ourselves. And then we have here the Three of Swords. Hurts, pains, disappointments. This is why the Hierophant information and energy can be a little bit overwhelming, because we're already dealing with hurts and pains and disappointments. The Three of Swords is doubts, and it's fears, and it's angers, and it's upsets, and it's being wounded. And what we're looking at here is like, okay, well, I can't fly if I'm wounded. I can't, live my life if I'm being stabbed through the heart. And that's just truth. But the thing is that our scars are accumulated over time. And if we look at these scars and we say, this is how I'm defined for the rest of my life. I am this pain, I am this disappointment, I am this anger, I am this upset. This is who I will always be. We'll never get to the place that we want to be. It will always be a place of silence, a place of anger, and a place of pain. And there will always be a certain way that we look at ourselves that is not the beauty that we see coming in. And so with the Three of Swords, what we're called to do is to look at the pain that has defined us for too long, the hurt and the disappointments that have held us back. It can be that we were the kid that stuttered in school, or it can be that we were, teased for whatever reason. And there is a sense here, or, something really horrible happened to us, and we carry that pain and we think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be this for the rest of my life, this hurt, this horror, this anguish. And it's like, no, we are not simply an accumulation of our shames. However, they come into our lives. What we are is the power to release them from our hearts and say, you don't get to be the force that my life beats around anymore. I get to fly free. This could be in the realms of disabilities. This could be in the realms of addictions. This could be in the realms of just anxiety and doubt and fear. It doesn't matter what it is, and it will be different for each and every person, because that's what life is about. It's about things being different. But there's a power here in the realization of the self and in the beauty of the soul. And as we start to take out these swords, what happens is we embrace something rather beautiful. And we have the Four of Wands, and I love the 3 going into the 4. The Four of Wands is celebration and its beauty and its intensity and its brilliance, and it can be, and it's celebration. So it's also a sense of it's kind of like the institutions that we're having a bit of a trouble with the Hierophant energy. But here with the Four of Wands, this is marriage at its jubilance. This is new job opportunities. This is, creative endeavors. This is the doors wide open. This is the dancing and celebration and the laughter within our souls. And so we start to see ourselves moving forward towards this desire, towards this want, towards this need, towards this glory. And it really starts to open up our eyes. We start to open ourselves to what we love within our life, the way that we want to move forward, the beauty that is a part of us. And it brings us then, as we embrace this, and also as we let these new opportunities in, it's kind of like, okay, I can be gun shy, I can be overwhelmed, I can doubt that this can move forward, but in the end, there's a celebration of a beauty coming. And it's like, okay, I had the doubts and the fears, but I had to let the joy in. I had to let myself embrace something spectacular. And it brings us to a new horizon with the Three of Wands. It's like, how am I going to move forward? Where is it that I want to be? How is the door going to open up? The Three of Wands is like passion and beauty and brilliance. And it's like, okay, I can open up this door. I can move forward this way. I'm not going to be stuck. I'm not going to be held back. There is something really powerful here for me. But the only way to open up these horizons is to embrace the pain and to let in the joy. And by embracing the pain, we release the pain. It's not embracing the pain and just living in it and saying, this is my life, this is my cage forever. It's embracing the pain, saying, I see you hurt, I see you fear, I see you anguish, I understand you, but I'm not defined by you anymore. And now we start to move forward. Now we start to go on a new adventure. We start to see the ships come in, we start to see the ships come out. It could be in a very small way. It doesn't have to be in this big, overwhelming way. It could be very soft, very gentle. But it's like, there's more here. There's more here than I realized. And then it leads us to the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords then has us facing something that we do not want to face. So the Five of Swords is something that we've lived through. Now, it can be from past life self. It can be within our DNA line. But most likely, and more often, this is something that we've lived through. And we think, oh my gosh, I never want to do that again. Like, oh my goodness, I can't withstand these hurts, these pains, these battles, this type of person. And yet we find ourselves in that position. We find ourselves kind of repeating a pattern. Because our life is about pattern. Human beings are a lot about patterns. And so here, what we're looking at is that pattern coming up. And it's like, oh my gosh, it can even be that we meet somebody. And my goodness, when this happens, it gets freaky, where you meet somebody and you're in this position with them. It can be a work position, or it can be you start dating the person or whatever. And they're just like somebody you've gotten away from. And you're like, oh my goodness, I could change their names and they're the same exact person. So here with the Five of Swords, we're going to be put into a position and we're going to really feel this internally. Why? Because we're facing so much, fear and doubt, and we want so much to be free and to start a new future, that when the Five of Swords comes in and it's like doubt and pain and disappointment and anger and upset and all these things that we don't want to be anymore, and we're having to face them, we think, oh my gosh, but I'm never going to get here. Oh yes, we are. Oh yes, we are. It's just a sense of looking at things more openly, more honestly for ourselves and saying, what do I want? What do I need? Where am I headed? Why am I headed there? What is this person, saying to me that's triggering me in one way or another? Or is this person coming back into my life, and do I want them back into my life? It's being more assertive within ourselves and being more honest. And it leads us then to the Ace of Cups. It leads us to a beautiful healing, a beautiful coming together. It leads us to a brilliance of our soul. It leads us to a development of our spirit. The Ace of Cups washes away a lot. So for our hearts are getting cleansed. And when our hearts are cleansed, it can make us very sensitive. It can make us feel easily overwhelmed. It can make us doubt, that we're heading in the right direction because we're just feeling everything. So we have to be kind to our hearts during this time. And as we are kind to our hearts, we start to see the fears, the anger, the upset that has been a part of us starting to wash away, starting to be relieved from our being, from our soul. And as this happens, and as we start to see things in a bit more enlightened, a bit more spiritual, a bit more open to what our souls desire, it leads us then to the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is water sign energy, right? But the King of Cups is taking this Ace of Cups, taking this gift and saying, yes, I'm balanced with it. Yes, I am embracing it. Yes, I am moving forward in this power. And it's the power of knowing that the only person I have any control over in my life is myself. I can't control anybody else. I see this with my nephew. He's a toddler, and he is the fiercest, most stubborn little boy ever. I sit there and I look at him and I'm like, oh my goodness, you're lucky, I love you so much. Or just like out the window you would go. And that's what we're seeing here. It's like, if I can't control a toddler and make him do what I want him to do, then how can I control anybody else? So you might say, okay, well, toddlers are the most tyrannical. Yes, but it's also the sense of we cannot control another's will. We're just dealing with people like toddlers who don't mess themselves. Now we can deal with people in life. Have you ever where it's like they don't hide what they're really feeling, or they'll say one thing to the boss, and then to you they'll just be an absolute pain in the tush, and you're looking at them and you're seething, and because you're emotionally kind of more honest and more easy to read, people kind of see it with you more than they see it with them, and so it can be very frustrating. But what the King of Cups is saying is that you will always run into these frustrations. They will come with different faces. They will come at different avenues of our lives in different ways. But we will always be dealing with these frustrations. And what we need to know is that the only person I have any control over, the only person I can balance, the only person I can understand, the only person I can embrace is myself. Not my partner, not my kids, not, my colleagues, not my friends, not my family. The only person I truly comprehend is me. And I truly have any control of her is me. And it leads us then to the Seven of Wands. It leads us to being much wiser in the battles that we pick. So as we go through this enlightenment here, all of a sudden, things that might have seemed like really big deals, they're just not anymore. Or things that we might have thought, oh, I really have to fight this. And it's like, no, I don't, because it doesn't matter. And the Seven of Wands is giving us a greater understanding of our way forward, of what we desire, of what's important to us and what's not. Because it's always like that person who's always fighting. That person who's always just angry and fighting and going after things. And it's like, oh my gosh, don't you stop? Like, can't you just enjoy your life? That's what we're being warned against. Because it doesn't have the ferocity if we're always fighting. And plus we get burnt out. We get overwhelmed. So here, it's looking and it's stepping back and it's saying, I will fight what's important. I will stand up for what my soul is calling for me to stand up for. And it will be so much more than I imagined. Because I'm now having focus. I'm having understanding. I'm gaining insights. And then it leads us to the Three of Cups. It leads us because now we're being wise with our energy, right? The Three of Cups is saying, okay, I see what I need to do. I know how I want to move forward. And this is looking at things very wisely. It's looking at the people who should have celebrated us within our lives and couldn't, the scars that leaves. It's also letting us see the people who do stand by us, the people who have been in our corner. Now, it might be that these are people at times that are few and far between, or it might be at times that we get angry at these people. It's like, oh my gosh, why can't you be like this? Why can't you be like that? But when the chips are down, they're there. So the Three of Cups, for me, it always teaches the people who couldn't celebrate us, but it's also starting to really show the people who do celebrate us, the people who do stand in our corner. And if we don't have people like that, it's the connection with angels and spirit guides and divinity to move us towards our greater goals, towards what we desire. And it brings us then to the Six of Cups. In the public arena, it's like as we're working this all out, we have the sense of nostalgia. We have the sense of things were better when. And also we have the sense of remembering the words that really shaped us. Now, this could be in a good way, but in all likelihood, this is in a negative way. This is in a way that made us self-conscious, that made us overwhelmed, that made us really start to doubt ourselves. And so the Six of Cups comes in and says, stop, stop. The past, to live in the past or to live for the past is always to live in pain because it can never be repeated. It can't be. No matter how hard we try, we can never recapture those moments. They're gone. And so living in the present is something that's so hard, but something that is so valuable. So we have that energy right there to live in the present. And then if we're looking at the hurts and the pains from the past that defined us, that had us thinking we weren't as talented as we hoped we were, or as pretty as we wanted to be, or as smart as we strive to be, this is a time where we look at that and say, what gave you the right? What gave you the right to speak this over a child? What gave you a right to shatter another person's dreams? Because isn't it the person who created Charlie Brown? Wasn't he told that he was a absolute rubbish artist? Like that he would never be able to draw anything in his life? And then he created the Peanuts, which is still known today. So do not let others, and this is a big lesson for the public arena, do not let others decide what we can and cannot do. It is time to look at what we desire and see ourselves moving forward, not in fear or in doubt or in being boxed in, but in a beauty of understanding and in a kind of rekindling of the dreams that we had before we learned that the world wasn't like a fairy tale, wasn't like a Disney fairy tale anyway. It then leads us to the Lover's energy. And the Lover's energy is Gemini energy. And this is a sense of duality. This really does embody the Taoist statement of this and that is true. And why that's important is because in our world today, we think if you don't agree like me, it's wrong, And we see people being very polarized in everything. And this is a sense of saying, no, open up the mind. Open up the understanding. We do not have to agree with the person at all. We don't have to like the person. But the ability to speak is very important because we learn something. Even if it's just, not for me. Like, that's not a way I would see it. And that's also what we learn from people. When we embrace the lovers, when we embrace what we love within our lives, but also we embrace who we emotionally connect with. There are people who we will, and there are people who we won't. There are people who live their life in such a way, and we think, you know what, that's not right for me. That doesn't mesh with my vibrational energy. It doesn't mesh with the way that I want to excel and move forward. If we have people in our lives right now who aren't getting us because we're on this journey, we're wanting more out of our lives. We want to open up our eyes. And they're perfectly fine where they are. We'll see. We will see over time where that relationship takes us. If they're still with us down the line. There is nothing wrong with outgrowing the people around us. There's nothing wrong with searching love and passion and beauty and brilliance within our souls, within ourselves, and seeing that having love be part of life, having spiritual understanding be part of our existence, doesn't mean that we're wrong. It can mean that we're different, most definitely, but it also means that we have this beautiful power to us, this beautiful way forward, to embrace our love, to embrace our joy, to embrace our passion, to embrace our beauty. And this is a time where we really start to realize that. And it brings us then to the Queen of Pentacles. Prosperity, success, bounty, a sense of nurturing it, a sense of seeing what we're good at. Now, we might sit there and say, oh my gosh, I'm too old to really start embracing what I'm really good at or what I really wanted to do. We never are. Oh my gosh, I'm too shy to really go after what I want. No, we never are. There's a sense of having to look at the fears that we have, the wounds within our hearts, the doubts, the expectations of others, and then say, you know what, I'm doing it anyway. You know what? I'm going after me, honestly and beautifully and powerfully. I'm embracing what I am nurturing within myself. I'm claiming my throne. This is a time, even if we don't realize it, this is a time where people start kind of seeking us out for wisdom, or start watching us in a different way and being like, oh wow, that was wise, or oh wow, I never thought of it like that. So this is a time where we should start seeing that within ourselves, start moving us forward in that direction. And it brings us to the Eight of Pentacles. It brings us to our hard work paying off. It brings us to knowing our success, knowing our bounty, knowing what it is that we want, or at least having a better idea of it. It's like all of a sudden, things that were once hidden become clear. All of a sudden, things that we didn't understand start showing themselves. And again, once hidden become clear. And this is also seeing hard work paying off. This is seeing the time, the effort, the sweat, the tears, meaning something. And this is seeing ourselves even come unwrapped. It's not in a bad way, but in a very good way. It's like we were in a cocoon, and now we're starting to fly. Now we're starting to spread our wings. Now we're embracing this bounty, this beauty that is before us. And we don't have to see it from inching across the ground, like a little caterpillar. We get to see it from soaring through the sky, from embracing freedom and spreading our wings. Now our spirit message is angels and spirit guides show me clearly for Libra, April 16th to the 30th, 2021, angels and spirit guides is Earth. You can't see that. Give me just a moment. It's Earth. And that's so interesting because we have the Queen of Pentacles, and Pentacles, of course, represent the Earth. We are connected with the Earth in the public arena, in what we desire within ourselves, within the way that we move forward. We are opening up the door. We're opening up to what we desire. And we're seeing things becoming more than we anticipated, more than we expected. But we're also seeing ourselves become rooted to this Earth in a really real way, in a really powerful way that redefines what we had expected, that redefines the way we had thought things were going to play out. It leads us then to our spirit guide message. Libra, April 16th to 30th, 2021, angels and spirit guides show me clearly. The cat spirit, claim your independence. As we walk on this earth, as we move ourselves forward, it's time to claim our independence. It's time to claim what we desire. It's time to go after what it is that we want. And at times it might disappoint others. They might not really fully understand. But as we're claiming our independence, even in the smallest ways, we are seeing ourselves move forward in power, in grace, and in understanding. It leads us to our subconscious spirit animal message, which is the panther spirit, reclaiming our power. So we claim our independence, and it reclaims our power. It reclaims our voice. It moves us forward in tenacity and truth and brilliance. And it brings us then to our subconscious spirit guide message, which is authentic. It is time for us to embrace our authentic selves, which means that we have to be true to who we are. We might have to, kind of swallow our words here and there and everything like that in work and, in relationships. But there's a sense of being really honest with what we want and what we're developing and who it is that we are and where it is that we want to be. To embrace our authenticity, to sit there and to say, there's a power to me that I get to bring forward is really quite amazing. And it brings us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is inner child, the heart chakra. There's a sense here of connecting with our inner child, connecting with our inner strength and our development, looking at things through the eyes of who we once were, through our dreams, through our hopes, and also embracing our inner child, telling that child, you're safe and I love you, holding our arms open to that child and embracing them and holding them in a way that we need, in a way that promotes healing. It leads us then to our subconscious person message, which is the Prince of Pentacles. Now, this is the person, again, we have to be mindful of these people. So we're moving forward slowly and steadily towards prosperity. And there's going to be this real sense of, no, you have to do it my way. You have to look at it this way. It has to be like this. Again, this person does have valid points. This is what's going to make it really tricky, but they don't get to control everything. So just be really, really mindful of that. This then moves us to our subconscious tarot message, which is the Five of Pentacles. No longer are we going to be on the outside of wealth. No longer is this a sense of a pauper's mentality. Subconsciously, it's going to be harder to see ourselves as queens. It's going to be harder to see ourselves as people who are having the payoff come. It's going to be much easier to think, oh my gosh, I've messed it up again. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to get there. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it. And it's like, no, that's not true. There's beauty and there's power here. We're just used to feeling defeated and overwhelmed. We're used to having the rug pulled out from underneath us. And yes, that has been part of our past, which we see with the Three of Swords, part of the wounds that have made us who we are. But it doesn't get to be what defines us anymore, because it doesn't get to be what robs us from the wealth that divinity is guiding us towards. All right. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the wealth of ourselves and as we move ourselves forward in power and in beauty. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra.